Thank you, sir, for the opportunity to present. My name is Dr. Aditi. I'm a consultant with the Ayushman Bharat Arogya Karnataka cell under the Department of Health and Family Welfare Services. So this presentation showcases what we do and hope that the learnings and we waiting for inputs as well so that we can improve ourselves. So I think a lot of the presentations have already covered this aspect that we're looking at a patient-centric model for universal health coverage in Karnataka, which ranges from the community level up to the tertiary rehabilitative palliative care level. And where Ayushman Bharat Arogya Karnataka, the integrated program, primarily serves to reduce out-of-pocket expenditure for inpatient healthcare services, which is basically hospitalization-based services. Just taking you through a little bit of history, the integrated Ayushman Bharat Arogya Karnataka scheme, the integration came from the central government as well as the state government. The state government already had a scheme called the Arogya Karnataka scheme, which had clubbed the previous schemes, which was the Vajpayee Arogya Shri, the Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana, the Mukhyamantri Harish Santwana Yojana, Rashtriya Bal Swasthya Karyakram, and as well as the state's Yashaswini scheme, which was one of the first insurance schemes for farmers in the country. So Arogya Karnataka clubbed these and it involved the private sector. This in July of 2018, there was a circular from the Principal Secretary Health at that time, Mr. Ajay Seth, who said, let's create this cell to look at public health institutions primarily. Let's look at strengthening these public health institutions through this scheme, through this assurance insurance scheme. So this was the circular that was circulated with the detailed roles as to who would be the stakeholders, how the meetings happen, etc. Subsequently, in October, we had the integration of the scheme. So essentially, it was a small cell consisting of a joint director. Currently, we have Dr. Suresh Shastri, who's our joint director, two other deputy directors, and two consultants under the chairmanship of the commissioner, along with the director of Health and Family Welfare Services. At the district level, we had to identify the nodal officers, and it happened to be district leprosy officers who were the nodal officers for this small state cell to coordinate with. And this circular also outlined, how the overseeing of these public health institutions should happen, what is the frequency of the meetings, etc. So in October, when the integrated Ayushman Bharat Arogya Karnataka scheme was launched, this cell became the Ayushman Bharat Arogya Karnataka cell. And basically, as I said, coordinates with other agencies, focuses on the government hospitals, also advises on the packages, etc., which are available under Ayushman Bharat, looking at the rationalization as well as the rate revisions. One of the important functions of this particular cell, which Mr. Srikumar also alluded to in his presentation, was for each hospital, the government hospitals, to declare their capabilities. So if a particular procedure is available in this hospital, they cannot refer it. That's what he was mentioning. Now, how do they declare this? So the ensuring that these hospitals update it on a real-time basis is one of the functions of our cell. So what have we done? This particular slide takes us through history, the last 2 years, as to what has happened with respect to Ayushman Bharat Arogya Karnataka from November 2018 to October. Now, November, we have the statistics for November as well. What we're seeing is a slow and steady increment in the number of pre-authorizations as well as the cases done by the government hospitals. The idea was to increase the credibility of the government hospitals and improve their performance so that we attract more people coming into these hospitals. And as Dr. Regina had also mentioned, Simple secondary procedures are the mandate of the government hospitals. How best can they perform that? So improving the performance of these procedures is one of the, helping improve this is one of the mandates of our cell. So starting in November, we said, okay, all these secondary procedures will have an auto approval process under Ayushman Bharat Arogya Karnataka. In January, we introduced the concept of claims executives. Insurance executives are there in the private hospitals, but we did not have such a cadre in the government hospitals. So these are MBA or master's level or very high percentage bachelor's level candidates for high load hospitals like the district and the taluka level hospitals, the block level hospitals, in order to upload pre-authorizations and claims to take the burden off the other staff with respect to their performance under the scheme. And the payment is also from the hospital revenue, which comes through the scheme. So in a sense, they are mandated to perform better, and these people help them perform better. And their payment also comes from the same performance. So, and they're incentivized or disincentivized as well based on their performance. So they're mandated to upload at least 95% of the cases, 100% of the cases that they upload as pre-authorizations. So slowly after that, we saw that there are procedures that are being performed by MBBS doctors alone. So a government order was issued for simple secondary general procedures, which are 40 procedures, which can be done under the scheme by MBBS doctors, and PHC empanelment also began. Subsequently, in July 2019, July last year, the incentives for the treating team was revised from 10% to up to 30%. So if the hospital is farther away from the center of the district or the district headquarters, then they should perform better in order to cater to more patients. So primary health centers, community health centers, and taluka hospitals get an incentive of up to 30%. District hospitals up to 20%, and medical colleges 15%. So that because the volumes are higher in the district and medical colleges, and the incentives that everybody gets would also be made up for by the cost of the procedure as well as the number of procedures that they're performing. In August, we created these district level committees headed by the district deputy commissioner with the nodal officers in order to review month on month performance of these hospitals, the government hospitals, and to facilitate and fill the gaps in these hospitals. Like Mr. Srikumar mentioned, the online referral module actually, we started groundwork from October. January, February is when it was ready to launch, and then we had COVID. So right now we're still trying to pick up these systems back again. And like Dr. Regina mentioned earlier, 2A procedures were relaxed so that private hospitals could also perform these simple secondary procedures because the government hospitals are designated as dedicated COVID hospitals. Subsequently, COVID treatment also came under the same scheme. Again, the cell was also looked at the performance of the government hospitals for COVID as well as non-COVID procedures. And then we had the Arogya Raksha Samiti software, which is the convergence software for looking at the finances of the hospital. So that was looked at in August. And through all these, we made sure that we had weekly meetings under the commissioner's headship. 46 such meetings have been held in the last 2 years, as you can see. This slide looks at the empanelment. So we saw a sharp increase in the empanelment from July 2019 onwards when primary health centers were also empaneled. So ensuring that the empaneled hospitals performed was also another role of the cell. Coming to card issue was the mandate of the cell entirely, government hospitals, other providers who helped with card issue. So you can see the timeline in terms of, the district hospitals started issuing cards, the integrated scheme came in, then we tied up with e-governance, the MOUs that we took on board with the Bangalore one, Karnataka one centers, and Seva Sindhu citizen service centers, common service centers started issuing cards. We saw a sharp rise. Then we wanted to curb malpractice, so we introduced the biometry systems. Then to ensure reach through the urban primary health centers, cards were also issued there so that people coming in there could also be benefited. The rural development Panchayat Raj institutions, Bapuji Seva Kendras were roped in to issue cards. During COVID, card issue was suspended because of the risks with biometry use. And then we started issuing cards again. And iris scanners were installed, and we had the ITI e-Seva centers also on board. So this presentation basically takes us through all these meetings, made sure that these MOUs were on board, and we're in fact in the second place with respect to card issue. Why do we need such a cell in a state? The overseeing of public health institutions is one of the gaps that has been expressed under Ayushman Bharat. One of the gaps is the public health institution front. While we have empanelment, the overseeing of these institutions, the finances of these institutions, and the performance of these institutions is one of the gaps. Coordinating with the other agencies is the other gap that we see. Additionally, those who are performing not so well, how can we enthuse them to perform better? How can we have an incentive mechanism to retain specialists, to get them to perform those specialty procedures, smoothing out the policy systems that will make it easier for them. Also, in ensuring convergence, we're not living in a silo with respect to Ayushman Bharat, coordinating with the other national health programs. Also, purchasing, ensuring that private sector is roped in where required, how required, smoothing out those. So this regular review of these guidelines and public health institutions has really helped us perform better. And this is one of the models for the country. Thank you.
You know, it's a good presentation, well made, and the purpose of your dedicated cell is also well reflected. But one question comes is, see, this is something, you are actually put the objective as to improve the credibility and the performance. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, in that case, now you have recently started, how it's been not 1 year, this program?
2 years, sir.
2 years.
We've just completed 2 years.
If it's 2 years, it's good enough time you spend to know and measure as to what improvement you have brought in terms of outcomes. All right, this you can reflect when I said. The second question is, see, we have too many projects from the health department, health sector of Karnataka. Some of the presentations are unavoidable overlapping. All right, in that condition, what would be your opinion? Suppose a particular medical facility or institution you have is all these aspects at one place integrated, rather than taking them segregatedly attend to a common cause. How do you react to that?
I just repeat your question just to make sure that I've understood it.
Second one or first one?
The first question was, in 2 years, what are the kind of outcomes that we are looking at?
In measurable terms.
Yes. The second one is with respect to the number of presentations that we have from the Department of Health and Family Welfare Services. Why couldn't it have been made as a comprehensive presentation with all?
No. That's between the lines. But what I asked is that, you see, since all these presentations have a common objective to improve the health situation through institutional service improvement. So suppose you have a district level hospital, and this district level officials, whatever the different presentations they made, they could be integrated at that level, be it identification, be it authentication, all these things you could at one place and integrate physically and otherwise. So wouldn't that help you, to provide a services in a comprehensive and in a very convergence mode?
Absolutely, sir. The idea is to ensure that kind of convergence, sir. The initiatives presented are not in silos. They are part of this, they're under the purview of this cell, as well as integrating with the rest of the health system as well, and the state health agency. So it is a collaborative participatory effort where, the push and pull in terms of ensuring that optimal performance happens is.
Yeah, the idea is to bring everything at one place in district level, at least not below, so that a person who needs services can go to district level hospital, get all that he needs, starting from identification, referral, and everything. That's what I.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for bringing that up, because as the number of procedures increase, the amount of money that the hospital gets is more. So
Absolutely.
they can look at developing it as another specialty. For example, let's say a urologist is there, but there's no separate OT.
That's it's a way of rationalizing our expenditure and optimizing our health services in a proper package. That's it.
Absolutely, sir. There's no better brand ambassador than a happy patient.
That's right.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
From my side. It's a good presentation.
Thank you, ma'am, for the presentation.